Here's Laurie in Colorado Springs. I'm glad you called. Great to have you here.
Well, hi, Rush. It's just awesome to talk to you. I can't even believe I'm talking to you.
Well, here you are. It's great to have you with us. It really is.
Well, I just wanted to call. Longtime fan. Our whole family is a longtime fan of yours, back from Kansas City Royals. My grandpa was a longtime season ticket holder and club member all through the 80s. Loved you then. And through my mom, I'm definitely a Rush baby. But my husband's 27-year-old, or 27-year veteran of the Army, just retired in January, so big military supporters as well. But I had to call, and I can't even believe I'm talking to you when you mentioned my dad's name, Bill Tobin, earlier.
You're Bill Tobin's daughter?
I am.
Holy smokes!
And
is it Bill or Vince that worked at the Lions?
Bill worked at the Lions. Vince was the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. My dad started in 1975 with the Packers for a few years, and he was instrumental. He drafted Walter Payton, instrumental in the Bears. In the Bears' 85 Super Bowl. After that, went to the Colts. Was with the Lions briefly, and is now actually working for my brother Duke with the Bengals. So
now let me ask you, Laurie. Our phone system's very bad. When you're talking, you can't hear me. It's not your fault, but I need to ask you a specific question. Was Bill Tobin? Was your dad at the Lions when Matt Millen was the general manager? Okay, because I talked to him. The reason I'm asking you, I went in when the day Ford Field opened. It was a pregame against the exhibition game against Steelers. It was the first game, maybe the second game of the season. And as they were escorting me through the stadium, meeting people, and your dad came up and said hello to me and introduced himself. And say, hey, we're big fans, and all. He was as nice as he could be. I've never forgotten it. That's why the name. I remember the name Bill Tobin when I saw the news story with him quoted today.
Well, let me tell you, he's seen a lot, and over the years, the many years he's been with the NFL, and he's definitely seen the changes, and it's not for the better, but it's been a great ride growing up with the Bears, and the exciting time when we were in Chicago as well as down the line. But
absolutely.
Yeah. One thing I was going to say, I was glad to see, I know the Bengals are, they've had their share of downs this year, but, Fox News had Johnny Joey, the gentleman that lost his legs in Iraq, and I guess he spoke with the Bengals on Monday and talked about how they, no one will stand or no one will sit on our sidelines. And I didn't see anything. I didn't see any pictures of their game this weekend against the Packers. But I hope that I don't know. It's just so much going on, but it's. My dad.
Well, your dad. I'm looking for the story now, and it must be in a stack that I can't get to right. But your dad had some really. I mean, they were clear cut and to the point comments about what's happening in the NFL, in which he said, "Look, people have concussions outside the NFL. People die outside it. People never played football. These things all happen." And to claim that football is responsible for all these things, it's sad. And what they ought to do is don't harm the game. Let people that want to play the game sign something and let them play the game the way the game is meant to be played. There are plenty of people that want to, and all that. And I thought, Laurie, that it was a courageous as hell thing to say in this particular atmosphere.
Well, you know what it is? I think it's from my mom sent me the link, and I didn't read the article yet, but it's because they went up to play in Green Bay, and my dad started his career back in 1975 with Dan Devine at the Packers. So I think it was, and it was a sports writer, I'm pretty sure, up there. Now I wish I had read it all and stuff, but, busy with kids. My mom sends me a lot of things, and I get to it eventually, unfortunately. That's the difference between,
Well, you need to read this link. I mean, I can tell you're proud of your dad, but you should read this link because I mean, it's clearly an old school guy, and he loves the game as it's always been played and so forth. And it was mentioned he's with Bengals. It was a really that's why it stands out with me today. Drew Brees is the one player that said something today or yesterday that I saw that stands out. Brees acknowledged, he said what he had to say about Trump's comments, but he said, I'm never going to understand not standing for the anthem. I don't ever want to see that. And that was
right.
I mean, only player that I've heard say that.
Well, one more thing, just to throw a real big kink in it, if you'll Google his name, he played back in 63 and 64 with the Missouri Tigers, Mizzou, so he's a Mizzou grad. So needless to say, he has seen a lot.
Well, if he was at Mizzou back then it was at Mizzou when Mizzou was Mizzou. All right. Well, this is Laurie, and she is the daughter of Bill Tobin, and I happened to mention him in the story last hour. And what are the odds that she would get through here? I am so glad that you did. I've got to go because I'm out of time, but it's been a sheer joyful pleasure talking to you.